and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Aitken, and on this show each week we're trying to pinpoint the key element of a race that ultimately decides the result. It might be a barrier draw, it might be the pace, it might be a particular aspect of the event that is overlooked. And in any case, we're trying to isolate that before the event, and we call that the winning factor. Our first race we're going to look at this Sunday at Sha Tin is race 6, and our winning factor here is the tempo. Now, as we look down the field here, to my eye there are 4 major chances, and I'm going to divide those 4 into 2 specific groups. In bucket number 1, if you like, we have Famous Warrior and Bigwood, who met in a race here recently, and in the other group we have Go Beauty Go and High Volatility. And the reason I've divided them up like that is because of their running styles. Now, most of the initial attention on this race is going to centre around the race with Famous Warrior and Bigwood recently. Now, in that race, Famous Warrior finished second, Bigwood ran third, but he was one of the highlight post-race horses, Bigwood, after being badly held up in the straight. Now, Famous Warrior comes off the back of the leader here, Land Grant, the eventual winner. And back in the field, you can see Bigwood in stripy pink, white and yellow colours, and he's being badly held up while the first 2 are contesting the race. Late in the piece, he manages to get clear running. Bigwood charges through and grabs third, but the race is well out of his reach by that stage. And now we're going to have another look at the same race, and we're going to have a look at the early stages, and I want you to take careful note of how each of those horses begins. Now, Famous Warrior, he's in the light blue colours in gate 2. He's slow away, and so is Bigwood, drawn out wider. Now, for Famous Warrior, it wasn't too much of a disadvantage because Land Grant was the horse drawn under him. He goes through to lead, and Famous Warrior just crosses over to the rails and chases him through. That gets him into an ideal position. Bigwood, on the other hand, he's stuck out the back with a lot of traffic to negotiate, and as we saw, he didn't have much luck doing that. So we've seen them both miss the start there, but I could show you race 747 from last season when we saw Famous Warrior slowly away, and I could show you just about anything that Bigwood has done in Hong Kong, because he's been slowly away every time he's been through the gates, even right back to his first start here from gate 1. Now contrast that with the 2 horses in our other group, Go Beauty Go and High Volatility, who are regular front runners in their races, and on our map, as you can see, we have them down as the 2 horses dominating the speed in this race, which I expect to be fairly moderate. High Volatility was a little bit slow away at 1400 metres last start, but got through to the lead. But once he gets up to these mile events and beyond, he is regularly the first horse to go to the front. So that's where I expect that we're going to see him. Now, this is his last start when he was run down by Green Energy. And on this occasion, as I said, a little bit slow away. He had to be bustled through to lead, but then found the front. But as you can see on the heat map, fastest part of this race was the 800 to 400 metre section, where Big Bang Bong hounded High Volatility in the lead, and they went very fast sectionals with High Volatility trying to shake off his chaser. And by the time he did, it was the 400 metres and he was 3 lengths in front of the field. Now, after the work he'd done, that was a long way home for High Volatility. He couldn't sustain that effort. He still did a pretty good job, but he was run down late by Green Energy. So my tip for race 6 is High Volatility and his winning factor, the tempo. I expect him to find the front here from the inside draw, not have to go as quickly as he did last time, and still have plenty left to kick away in the straight. Meanwhile, probably his 2 main rivals are going to be, well, one's going to be back in the field after missing the start, Bigwood, and Famous Warrior, he's going to be giving a start as well. Now, the second race we're going to have a look at this Sunday is race 9. And here our winning factor is the draw. As we look down the field, I think it comes down to 3 major chances in this race. Jing Jing Win, Handsome Bobo, our likely leader, and King Opie, a Class 4 winner on opening day. The one I'm going to concentrate most on, though, is King Opie. And we're going to have a look at that win from race 5 on the first day of the season, when he was able to overcome a little bit of a slow start and get quickly through and across outside the leader. Now this wasn't all that quickly run a race, and they ran very fast sectionals down the straight, and King Opie was able to get the upper hand late in the piece. Now contrast that with his second run of the season when he went up to Class 3 at Happy Valley in race 54. Now this time when we look at the start, we see that he actually began a little bit better this time, but Chad Schofield looked across to his inside, found a lot of horses punching up underneath him, and rather than having a torrid run, he elected to take the horse back. Now unfortunately he had to go all the way back early, nearly to last, and then was able to tack on and get 3 wide with cover in the middle stages. But I want you to look carefully at where the first 3 place getters are here. They're the leader, the horse behind the leader, and the horse behind him. So the first 3 along the fence were able to get the best of things here in a race that wasn't all that quickly run. Meanwhile, King Opie was out the back, swinging wide and getting pushed off the track and unable to really get into the fight. Now if we look at the map here for race 9, this time he has the leader underneath him in Handsome Bobo, but he's much closer to him and not a lot of other speed around him. So even if he's a touch slow away, Grant Van Niekerk should be able to get King Opie through and into a striking position. An added bonus for King Opie is coming back to Sha Tin, not only because he's already been a winner there, but because his trainer, Frankie Law, has been one of the dominant forces there since he started training. If we have a look at this list of the top trainers at Sha Tin since the start of last season, Frankie is running second on the tally of winners trained and third on the strike rates, and he's really been a powerhouse there. So race 9, my tip, King Opie, his winning factor is the draw. I think he'll get some serious competition from Jing Jing Win and Handsome Bobo, but a better draw this time should enable him to make use of the fact that he has a lightweight and he's a promising young horse without much racing. Well, that's it for this week's winning factor. You might be wondering why I didn't look at the main races. Well, I did think Beauty Generation was a very genuine and worthy favourite for the Sha Tin Trophy. But then I delved a little deeper into the history of the race, and now we're going to have a look at the worthy favourites over the last 27 or 28 years in the Sha Tin Trophy, and they have an abysmal record. So I thought I'd sidestep that race with such a lousy record for the favourites. That's it for the winning factor. See you next time.